afternoon, everyone. This is Jared Rand, and welcome to the Global Guided Meditation Call for Friday, January 24, 2025. About 3:30 p.m. Eastern. We're having a reverse aging health call tonight at a little after 9:15 p.m. Eastern. We're going to identify some things that might look misleading to people, and the transition that we're in and what's transpiring is phenomenal. So you want to make sure that you're in a comfortable position, that you are not being disrupted from any external energies, and that you're relaxing into your body, still as a statue, and you're focusing on your breath rising and falling in the space between heartbeats. We talk a lot about inside of us. The reason is because the majority of us have been outside of us for a very long time. And usually repetitiveness helps. It's like you can read a book, right? You can read a book, and you pick it up again, and you say, well, that was a good book, I'm going to read it again. And each time you read it, you discover something different that you did not pick up the first read or the second. It's the same with anything. When you hear something, right, audio, or you're watching a movie, the first round usually you do pick up things, and then you say, that was so good, I'm going to watch that again. You watch it again, and you pick up even more stuff. So repetitiveness is well proven for things to really sink into us and to remind us on a constant basis what the heck we're here for. So this is why we do, meditations and mantras and do morning rituals, nighttime rituals, during the day rituals, to keep reminding ourselves and practicing so that we continually learn more about who and what we are so that we can apply it. Without knowledge, we're pretty much dead in the water. And this is about picking up knowledge and applying it and then experiencing it. And a lot of people will say, well, how do you do that? Well, you sit back. You kind of like picture yourself leaning back in a chair. You're way up high. And you're watching everything. And you begin to take things in. Now, see, in meditation, you're not in the ego mind. You've left it alone, and you're in heart mind. And you're in the now, so you're moment to moment. And by being in the now and heart-mindedness, you're able to learn about the ego mind, to see how it operates, to see its habits and what it does and how it does it. Because it cannot be in the now. It can only be in yesterday and tomorrow, where we suffer. That's why so much suffering goes on this planet. It's pretty simple, at least in the initial reveal that you can watch it all and take it in. It's just like a book. It's like a movie. And you keep watching it over and over again. And as you do this, you pick up more things. You notice more things about the ego mind. And then you begin to learn why you respond certain ways in this life. You know, the external irritations, you know, internal, emotional, and why you do respond that way. And then you start looking at the ego mind. And remember, you're not judging it. You're learning from it. So you realize, you say, okay, so now I know that I get a lot of thoughts that come in. Ton of them. Lots of them. We all do. And you can real easily identify the thoughts that are ego mind supported or generated. And then you determine, not interested in that thought. And it just passes through you or by you. Because you start realizing that's ego mind thought, I'm not interested in that. As time goes by, you become more and more effective on ego mind. You begin to learn that it is highly insecure. This is why you see so many insecure people on this planet. And this is why you have so many people thinking they're protecting themselves when they're actually protecting their ego mind. Defending, right? And this is the only way one can master the ego mind. Through meditation. There's no other way. Many ways have been tried. But this is through meditation. And it really is all about reconnecting with your divine nature of who and what you really are. And you decide, it's an adventure. Most of us won't do that because we just don't know how. We don't know how to do it. How the heck is people supposed to know how to do it? You know? They're heavily entrenched and immersed in ego mind, physical material life. They haven't been taught anything other than ego mind information. And is it anybody's fault? Not really, because it just keeps passing down, as I've said before. Just keeps, you know, you have one generation, it passes to the next generation, and then the next generation. And it continues to do that. And we get in kind of like a circle jerk. But then some of us start to wake up and say, something's not clear here. Why would I want to do this? Lifetime after lifetime. Being controlled and managed by the ego mind. And unfortunately, many people on this planet don't even know they are. And in the event that you say, you know, it could be your ego mind, many become very defensive because you make that statement. And to reinforce it all, as we are watchers and observers, so we don't criticize, ridicule others for their beliefs, right? We don't do that. We watch. When anybody responds to something in that you have acted or put into place or comment or whatever, and they respond in a way that is critical, judgmental. When you have an opinion and you share the opinion and that's the rebuttal. It's ego mind. The reason that we get into so many conflicts on this planet with ourselves and others, conflicts and war, disappointments, is because of ego mind. That's our master. And the real ironic thing is that the majority of people on this planet do not know that deeply enough to know how to turn it around, to end up mastering the ego mind. What would happen on this planet if the majority of the population were to master their ego mind? Well, it would eliminate all of those unpleasant things permanently. What are those unpleasant things? Greed, manipulation, dishonesty, murder, rape, pillage would absolutely vaporize. Wouldn't exist. Dishonesty is one of the biggest destroyers of any civilization on any planet. Being dishonest, manipulative, and ego mind driven means that this is why so many people they never get enough. It's never enough. It is always got to be more. It doesn't matter if someone has 100 trillion, 200 trillion, centillion, quadgentillion. It's not enough. It's got to be more. I know that sounds really silly, but that's how it is, because the ego mind has been such a force with this civilization and others throughout existence. And aren't we, we're here to enjoy our lives, and we're here to create an experience within that life, right? So, but we have an obstacle. We have a challenge. We have a challenge kind of twofold. We come into these bodies, and these bodies, like I have shared, are highly emotional. Now, we don't have a personality, character, or anything yet when we enter baby bodies. It takes a bit, 6, 7, 8 years. Then we have our personality, and we have mostly our character. And this depends on how we are, what kind of information we are given. So as we're given information by others, who have been given information by others, you see how it works? Now, if it's very similar information, which mostly is through ego mind, then what happens is that we continue. It's a continuance. We're defending ourselves, we're judging ourselves and others, and we continue with this. Now, it's not like we think about it, because we mostly don't. We just go about our way. And again, the confusion has been added to it through the years through man-made religions. Lots of confusion there. Lots of confusion with young ones moving, being given information. The family happens to be this particular religious following. Obviously, the children will be directed in that following. Not like, Billy, you don't have to do what we do. If you don't feel comfortable with this, you don't have to do it. Comfortable, and you can not feel comfortable with something, but that's ego mind holding you back. That's a different one. This means really not a good thing. And when the ego mind gets out of control, because it does, you sit there and say, stop. I don't care to participate in this, and you're not in charge here. But you don't say it belligerently or defensively or revengefully. You say it with love. And it dissipates. The ego mind is very powerful, as we know. So it's not going to give up. It's going to keep banging on you. If it thinks that you are pulling away, it will become even more aggressive. So it's more subtle. Little bit at a time. When you leave the mind alone, you don't suffer. That's how you know. If you don't leave the mind alone, you will suffer. And I don't mean it doesn't have to be huge. It could be little things, disappointments, letdowns, but we still suffer. Ego-minded people suffer. Heart-minded people do not suffer. This is how you know if you actually are in heart-mind. Because if you believe you're in heart-mind and you suffer, then the ego mind has played the trick to make you believe that you are in heart-mind. It's a slick character. And its whole purpose is for us to learn from it and master it. That's why it's there. See, we have a comparison. Again, both sides of the coin. See? Always yin and yang. People think that, well, there doesn't have to be a yin, or maybe there's just a yang. Or maybe there's just a yang and no yin. It is the balance of existence. See, you have the good and you have the bad. There is a balance that's maintained. In the universes, like I have shared, there is a white hole and there is a black hole. They don't talk about the white hole. They always talk about the black hole, which vacuums, just literally vacuums up anything that comes. Its gravitational field is so strong, it pulls things into it. And they disappear. The white hole is the opposite. This is the yin and yang of all that there is, ever has been, ever will be, ever beyond, and forever. Now, when an imbalance occurs, let's say that there is more, let's say that the influence of evil is more than the influence of good. Okay? That's an imbalance. That's very dangerous. So the cosmic consciousness, collective consciousness, identifies and corrects. This is what goes on throughout all the universes. And all the existences beyond the universes, and all that there is beyond consciousness. The analogy is that you can walk into a dark room, but you can't see your hand in front of your face. So to you, you go, there's no way there's light in here. But in actuality, there are light particles in that black. Same with a flooded light room. It's so bright, you got to shield your eyes. And you would say, no way are there any dark particles in this light. And there are. The balance of the universe. When it gets out of balance, bad things happen. Negative things happen. Lots of disruptions. Lots of pain and suffering. You can see how delicate it is. Like what's happening on this planet right now is way beyond most people's comprehension at this time. What's happening is a decision has been made by the collective consciousness to liberate this planet and cleanse the imbalance so that the light is front and center. Now, obviously, we act that out because of how we view it, and this is what's happening on the planet. The more at peace you are, the more powerful you become. the less at peace you are, the less powerful you become. I know that sounds strange, but it's very true. Why is that? Because in peace, when you discover who and what you are within that body, and you learn that you're not the body, you're not your name, you're not your possessions, you're not your social status, you are the God, which is pure consciousness. And when you comprehend that, you no longer have enemies like everybody thinks they do. Or you no longer have things happening to you like everybody thinks that people, they're being attacked and this is happening and that's happening. It's all with us. We are the masters and commanders of everything that we see and everything that we feel and everything that we do. Now, most of us don't know that because we've learned certain things and we've been told things as we grew up in these bodies, and so we follow a path. And by the way, we're all on the same path. And another thing, you can't destroy that path, and you cannot get lost. Now, you may think at times that you're lost, right? It's because you're not in touch with the God that you are. Or you may think at times that you're alone. And the only reason that happens is because you don't know who and what you are. It's not negative. No, it's negative. We're not in a contest here. So we view things as we view them. When we have childlike curiosity, we brush that all off. And then we get real curious about ourselves. Not judgmental, but we start putting the pieces together, the pieces of the puzzle, snapping them into place. Then we start going, aha, I knew this had something to do with this, and there it is. The one thing that we have not come to grips with, I guess you could say, is that literally, not figuratively, you are the power. In that body, omnipotently powerful, supreme manifesting, abundant being that never dies. And while we're in these bodies, which we know are temporary, we can manifest anything we choose. That's a given for everyone. Not just a group of beings at the top of whatever, overseeing, controlling, directing. This is every one of us. Every one of us. Imagine how powerful that is to be able to embrace it and to open your heart to it and to know that it is not if at all, it's when. If doesn't exist. It's like and then you have this roadmap that you put together for you. And you say, the more I begin to comprehend who and what I am in this body, the more wondrous things begin to occur. When you view this planet, most likely you view it as a very peaceful place, serene, tremendously beautiful. And all of us are part of its creation. We are the creators. Doesn't it make sense that we would create a planet that's like a God planet paradise? Doesn't it make sense? And it's not like, excuse me, it's not like everybody riding or, flying around on unicorns. That's peaceful. You know why? Because we're peaceful. And nothing really blows that apart. We're balanced with our spiritual evolution. We don't have any fear. Now, we've experienced fear. We know what fear is. So it's not like, there's no fear there. We've had fear for a very long time. We know what fear is. It's a thought. And we really don't, this is how we're evolving. We're not into it anymore, say. It's kind of boring for us. That might sound strange, but it is boring for us. So we've moved on. Through either subconscious or conscious choice. So we move on, and we begin to comprehend that we can increase our vibrational frequencies and for ourselves to begin with, right? More love, more tenderness, more kindness, more gratitude, more humbleness with oneself. Big and powerful stuff. And it expands. So are you going to do something? Are you going to continue to do something because it feels really good? You probably are. Because you'll want to feel that. So you'll continue to discover. It's motivation. Oh, no, I'm not going to go any further with this, even though it feels so wonderful. So natural for me. No, that wouldn't happen. So we're motivated to explore deeper and deeper and deeper within ourselves. And as we do, and we discover both good and bad parts of ourselves, embrace them all, forgive, love oneself deeply and eternally, stay in deep gratitude 24/7. These are just efforts. They're not difficult. They're really not. You know why? Because it's our natural state of being. Omnipotently powerful, supreme, manifesting, abundant beings that never die. And while we're in these bodies, think about this in the quiet time of this meditation. We can manifest. This isn't, I think people, it doesn't sink in on this planet. It really doesn't. Probably because of ego mind influence. But we have an innate ability to be able to comprehend just how powerful we are. Now, while we're in these bodies, doesn't it make sense that we're going to have a ball? Why was it ever designed that we were supposed to toil, dig, scrape, scratch, work our fingers? Listen to these statements. Work our fingers to the bone, hard labor, hard work. Now listen to those frequencies. And you convince a civilization that that's good. When all along you are a manifesting machine and you could say, I desire this, I want this. And you're very detailed about it. And it's manifested. It's like an everyday occurrence. But we've been trained in a slave mentality, really, by different frequencies of words that have been used throughout the ages. I broke my back supporting you. See, you look at all this stuff. When in reality, our reality, the gods that we are, all we have to do is focus on what we want. And we get it. And so people say, well, not everybody gets it. In fact, there's not a lot of people that get what they want. No, they won't either. Because they are mastered by the ego mind. They are the servant of the ego mind. When the ego mind should be the servant to them. That's why. That's why so many people get frustrated. And it is at times, because we're so steeped in ego mind, it is a real challenge for us to move out of that, like in this meditation, move out of the ego mind, move into the now, leave yesterday and tomorrow alone, and focus on what you want. See, it's a big difference. Because in heart-mindedness, you don't doubt. You know, your faith is very strong within yourself. Your trust is very strong within yourself. And that same thing is with what? The universe. Omnipotently powerful, supreme, manifesting, abundant being. That's what we are while we're in these bodies. And after that, we leave the body. We are all that there is, ever has been, ever will be, ever beyond, and forever. And now you can see, feel, hear, even touch what we're doing with this planet. It is absolutely magna-glorious, and it is just the beginning. And what do? We stay the course within ourselves. We continue to master the ego mind, and we continue to master our thoughts. I'm joining the meditation, and I'll return to close this out. Take an easy and slow breath in through the nose. And an easy and slow breath out from the mouth. Continue to focus on relaxing into your body, being as still as a statue. Focus on your breath rising and falling. Space between heartbeats. The simple light of your consciousness is all you need to see through the darkness, the darkest shadows of your mind. Use your light to see beyond all of the ego's never-ending list of expectations, assumptions, and demands. These three forces have dominated you and your precious being for way too long. Watch how these patterns grab onto you and pull at you quickly without warning. Take one step back. Ask for whatever you need to relax deeper into the pure, scintillating awareness that shines its light on everything. The enlightened mind is so bright that it causes your shadows to forget their misleading purpose, and they instantly dissolve back into the light. You can relax right now and let the light guide everything for you. We all trust 300% in the light. Take this with you for the rest of the day and the evening and night and the following morning. We'll return here tonight, Friday, January 24th, 2025. We'll have 9:15 p.m. Eastern to continue our reverse aging health call and all the rest. And Saturday, January 25, 2025, after 3:15 p.m. Eastern to continue our global guided meditation call. Be gentle, kind, generous, and humble with yourself at all times. Be in the highest of the highest high, deepest of the deepest deepest, purest of the purest purest, eternal gratitude at all times, no matter what's going on within you nor outside of you. No matter what's going on inside, remember. Open your heart and allow the magic to flow in.